Alright, so today we are doing the alternator in a 97 BMW 740i. Quick thing before you start doing the alternators in these, some of these are water cooled, others are air cooled, so make sure you know which one you need for your car before you start this. Alright? Now before you go changing and pulling out the alternator, you want to make sure you disconnect your positive battery cable. If you don't know where the battery is on this, it's actually going to be right here. You'll see you can actually pull it this way. There is your giant molosser of battery. Alright, we're just going to pull the positive terminal on this and we should be able to start pulling that alternator out without a problem. Alright, once you've got your car in the air, you are actually going to start pulling the skid plate off. Now these skid plates are pretty big. They're pretty easy though to take out. It's just a couple Phillips head screws. And they're actually set screws, so it's not like they're going to screw out all the way. So once you've got that down and out of the way, we're going to lift it up. Make sure you're putting it on jack stands or else there could be a lot of issues there. It's more of a safety hazard. Once you've got the car up, you're going to notice right here, this one's an air-cooled one. This is actually going to pop right off of the alternator itself. Then you're going to have two more bolts down here. Now, you can see I've got my ratchet on one here, right there, and then there's one right over here, and hopefully you can see that. So we're going to pop those out, and then we can start working with the alternator. So you're going to need to take your serpentine belt off quick. I'm just going to get down here and show you. This bolt right here, and there's one directly below it, are what are keeping the tensioner set. Once you loosen those, you'll be able to push this pulley right here out of the way, and then you can get the belt off. Alright? See the back of this clip here, just so that way you kind of have an idea of what you're going to be dealing with when you go to pull the alternator. Obviously you can't see back there to unclip these, so these clips you're actually going to feel on the top of it. This will push. As soon as you push on the top of that clip, you can pry that off. Again, this car has a lot of miles on it, so there's a lot of grease, a lot of grossness. I pushed this down with one hand and then pried it off with a screwdriver. Again, be gentle. You really don't want to have to be fixing stuff all the way down there. Alright, so in order to get this giant alternator out, you're actually going to need a fan belt tool. I'm sorry, not a fan belt tool. You're going to need a water pump pulley tool. So you're going to have to be able to take off your clutch fan here. This one specifically can go sit onto these nuts. I don't know if you can actually see that down here. Keep in mind when you're staring at the car, you're going to spin that outer wrench here towards the driver's side. Okay? Just to show you here, you can actually get to all of the bolts as long as you take out the fan and loosen that fan shroud like I was saying before. You're actually taking the tensioner out here as well, which you might be. Yep, there we go. So the 3 tensioner bolts you can see right there. Once that's out of the way, you can get to the top, mid, and then the bottom bolt. I can't really get my arm down there to show you at the same time, is way down here. But you can essentially get to all of them, not a problem, without having that tensioner in there and having the fan out. When you go to take this tensioner out, you've got these top bolts. You got one up here and one here, and then you're going to actually have a bolt inside this pulley here. You're going to pop that plastic cap off of it. You can do that with basically any type of flathead screwdriver or pick. Alright, I'm just going to show you guys real quick also with this. We pulled out the clutch fan here, and then we loosened all the supports on the fan shroud, so we're able to move it around a little bit. We're able to actually, so that way you know how I did this. Unfortunately, I don't have enough hands to, do this and show you at the same time, but we pulled the alternator forward here and then up and through. You'll have to move the fan shroud around a little bit, and you're actually going to be pushing this upper radiator hose around. Not a huge deal. Just don't smash this. That's your radiator. That's expensive. You don't want to put a hole in that. Okay? Really quick. You may have gotten an alternator if you went from a 120 to a 140 or just upgraded the alternator in general. You might notice there's a B terminal here and a D terminal. And when you took your alternator off, you only had stuff on this one terminal here. That's okay, that's totally normal. This at one point in time was used to just sense a variation in voltage between the two terminals to let you know that the battery light needed to come on. Adding this thing is what caused that to kind of be redundant, so don't worry about that.